right, what's up, you guys? This is Janos with Trading Spies. Here we go. We finished our second day on a small account, second green day with 100% execution. I took two trades, both of them was green. So for the small account, it is a perfect outcome. So what happened today is we had the 410 demand zone, what we tested a couple of times in the past few days. Basically every single day we tested the demand zone and we wasn't able to break through until today. So today we had the breakthrough, but we just cannot enter the moment it breaks through, and especially with the small account. If you're trading a bigger account and you have a bigger risk, yes, you can take the account. Is still not recommended, but then why not? But with the small account, we have to be very conservative. So we only can take the A+ setups, because again, we cannot afford big losing days on a small account. So basically what I did, as we broke down the 410 level, I had to wait for the retest. So I had to wait for the price action to come back up to the 410 area, to the demand zone, which at that point we can consider as a supply, right? We broke through, we came back, we tested, so it's becoming a supply level at that point in my book. So what happened is, yes, we did break it down, we did test it, and the price action continued down to south, and that's when I entered, took my first trade, and yes, it was green. The second trade, I had to wait a little bit further. I couldn't take my perfect entry, what I was considering to take. I will explain to you why and what was the reason behind it as we break down the trades. And at that point, basically, we have to be very careful not to fall into FOMO, just to jump in the trades. Because at that point, if we're jumping in without any structure in our moves, in our entries, then basically we give in for FOMO, the fear of missing out. But what we have to keep in mind at that point, any trading without structure, basically it's becoming gambling, right? Because we won't know if it's going to work out or not. And because of that, we don't have any real stop to put where we exit out of it. And a lot of cases, what happens if the price turns around, and especially new traders, they just don't know what happened. And that's when the problem's starting, getting into negative. We're hoping the price will come back and we can get out break even. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. The price just keep going. And unfortunately, small accounts, that's how they get decimated. So again, second day's a little bit over $300, which is 10% of the account value. What we're trading, excellent day today, and let's just break down the trades. All right, let's start our second day recap here. Let me go back to the beginnings and show you the past few days of price action and why was important for the today's trades. As we can see, we have this level, which is the 410.25-ish, what we hit in the past couple of days every single day. And this one, even on the higher time frame, is our demand zone. On a longer time frame, demand zone. And in the 2 days trading environment, basically the way as it seems it works, every time we hit a demand zone, price will bounce back. Every time we hit a supply zone, which is above us, the price will turn around and come back down. So that's why it's very, very important to always know what type of structure we're trading, right? So in this case, we can say we traded in a channel on the 410 be on the bottom and a 415 on the top as a supply zone. And basically what happened today is we broke through our demand zone. So we broke down the 410, 25, 50-ish demand zone. So as we broke down, it became a supply zone. And with the small account, we have to trade very, very conservatively because we do not want to decimate our account with a sudden whip, right? So to trade the actual breakdown is not recommended, especially not in the big picture trading environment what we in right now. So as the morning started on the pre-market, we actually break down those levels, but as soon as we broke it down, right away we jump right back up. So we had a little bit of uptrend over here. What the 411, we broke it down and then we broke through, get back into our demand zone, and the demand zone was holding again. So that's why I didn't enter in those, the first flush down, right? So we hit our demand zone. Let's go to our 1 minute chart so we can see it a little bit better. So let's do this again. So this was a very sudden drop again, and this is in the market, and that we can see every single day also, sudden drops, choppy, 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 and a sudden drop, and the price is not really recovering from there. And it's depending really on the direction where it goes. At this case, we dropped, we hold it the yesterday 1050, right? If we remember, yesterday that was on my last trade as my stop loss, the 1050. And today we hold that as our above supply level. And basically, let's see over here. Yesterday, our low was 410.60. As we came back up, we turn our demand zone into a supply zone, right? We broke through, we consolidated, we went back up, and my entry, this is include the yesterday trades. So the first entry was 1006. So my first entry, let's do 1006. It was exactly this rejection candle, but my actual entry, it was the breakdown of the candle. So I entered right here. Let's put our little arrow there. This was our entry, and the exit was the 10. Exit was in this candle right here. So we catched a beautiful, beautiful downtrend, right? And as I exited, and this is what I was telling you guys for my second entry, we came down, we broke through the level, and as we can see over here, the 409.45 on a longer time frame, what we have to see is, let's see over here, right? This is our level. We have a pivot high, pivot high, pivot high, right? We break through, then basically we get a pivot low. We have supply, 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 came above it, became demand. We stay above it, break down again. We have a serious level, and as we broke above it, we never retested this level. So my entry, my exit basically considered this level right here. And for my second entry, let's go back to the 1 minute chart. And this was my thinking, right? We broke down that level, and the way we trade in the today's environment, the way I see it's happening, as we break a double bottom, we just get a little wick down, and right away the price is start to move back up. That's what I told you guys yesterday. Exactly this is what happened today. Little wick, price moving up. But we still on a downtrend, on the big picture downtrend for the today's trade. We hit a lower low, right? So what we did, we moved above it straight, so we created a little bit of higher high, right? And then we came down, and the higher high I'm considering a pivot break. So we did that, we moved a little higher, we came down, we created a higher low, right? Because the low and another low, it's higher, the next low, it's higher. So moved above, we created another higher high. We had a sudden drop again, but we still traded within the channel. So I wasn't considering trading this one. And the reason why, because right here, we had a little bit of support level, which we didn't break through with the first push. So this would have created our lower low, what is indicating we starting to move down, which didn't happen, unfortunately. My thinking was we break down, we coming back up, creating a higher low, and the breakdown of the higher low would have been my initial entry, targeting the today's low. And again, the low was the target. We're not considering the breakdown of the low because the wicks are just very, very, let's say almost we can calculate if we have a wick, it's going to turn back around. So what happened is came back down, and I wasn't there to enter into this because I just don't want to gamble, right? In this entry, we would have taken a FOMO. It didn't match my plan structure. So I couldn't enter. It looks nice. I'm sure a lot of people was in it, made money. But again, in the small account, I just cannot enter into this. The market's gonna be here tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. And the trading, we have to consider it as a marathon. It's not a sprint. Because in this movement, if goes against you and you don't have a proper money management in place, which unfortunately the new traders most of the time don't have, then basically it's just becoming gambling. Because if you enter, again, just the breakdown of this level, what's going to happen? Turn right back around. Yes, it came back down, but if it takes turn back around and then you have your proper stop loss in place, this move would take you out. I'm not saying it's game over for your account. It's just game over for that particular trade. And then you already took a loss and your account is moving lower. So that's why I didn't enter in this trade. My second entry, as we created a new, what did we create? A new lower low, because we broke the previous low. So we have a new lower low and we started to move up higher. Then my thinking was, as we turn back around right away, because it was a sudden drop, we wait for the pullback, and as we break the candles, we enter into this trade. And exactly that's what happened. I entered into the trade at 49. So again, this was my entry right here. Let's make it bigger. Let's put the little arrow there, 49. So as we came down, I sold it in this big candle as we broke the bottom. I didn't want to consider even just to go lower. And the reason why, as I mentioned, I'm afraid of the wicks breaking below and suddenly going up. And because of my tight money management, I just don't want to get shaken out of my trades. So I'm considering the best possible entry where I can have a little run and make the money what is needed for the trade itself. And as we can see, right, it didn't happen this time. It went down and it just flushed right through. But as we can see it right here, I do not have any price level, right? So that means, and we can go into the longer time frame, why I do not have anything right there. Me, I'm a firm believer of the volume in a trading. I'm not candle by candle, but day by day. The point of control, the volume profile is very important in my trade. Later on, I can make a video about it, but that's where my levels are coming from: point of control, value area, high and low, and also pivot levels. This is very important for me to make the creation of my levels. So the reason why I do not have anything right here, previously when we had the moves, every moves what we had between these levels were sudden moves. Sudden goes up, sudden goes up, sudden comes down, same thing, breakthrough, sudden comes down. So all of our price movement basically was sudden drops or a very quick up trajectory. So I have no consideration to draw any level, and exactly that what happened. As we came through that level, a sudden drop all the way to my next levels what are drawn. Today we broke down. It's a nice day. You know, it's never nice when the market goes down, because a lot of people you know, they buying individual stocks, not options. So as the price drops, it losing value. So in a big picture, not necessarily good. In the option, as we trading puts, it's very good, and it's nice to see we broke our structure And now we have to consider we're getting into our next demand zone, which is a little bit right here, exactly where we're trading now, the 407 level. And then on a bigger picture, what we can see is the actually, let me go on to the, yeah, we are on the 30 minutes, but let me give just a little bit more time. Okay, we're on the 90. So our next area to watch is the 405 level, 405, 50-ish, what we can consider as our next level. Because if we go further, we can see also where we're stopping right now. This pivot high, even if we broke it through, as you see, we barely retested. We went through, and these days, as remember, we just talked about, everything was sudden movement. So basically was no real retesting of this level. One time we came down, we went back up, and now we're hitting exactly the same levels. And from there, our next level, it should be somewhere right here. The 405.50 level is our next demand level. If we break it down, as we can see, that's going to be a continuation in my point of view. Maybe as we break down, we come back, retest it again, and that would be the proper way for us to trade. Break down, retest, and if we continue lower, then I think it's gonna be a longer term downtrend, because we weren't able to hold this level at all, and this was here, our big level, same as this one. So I think as we're gonna break down these levels, well, let's see. We cannot predict. We just have to take always the direction where we go. We cannot think, and we cannot be stubborn with our thinking. We just have to trade what the market show us, and we gotta take those entries. All right, guys, again, it was a perfect day, perfect second day, over 10%, little bit over $300. So this is it for today. And as always, if you like the content, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, and also turn your notification on. And as I always say, don't be a wannabe, be greater at all times.